So yet another 105-year-old woman gets COVID, survives. Now, because I would never ever read, I think I'm not subscribing to the New York Times, but I did look into this story, and as they mentioned, which is the only relevant information, Lucia DeClerc, the oldest resident of a New Jersey nursing home, beat the Modelo virus after she tested positive on her 105th birthday. Her tips for living long and healthy life: prayer, avoiding junk food, and eating 9 gin soaks raisins each morning. I love how old folk always got like this like key to living life. See, this should this should be a feel good story, right? Like I always say. But if you go and read some of the comments, they're like, "Why are you even covering this?" I'm like, "Oh wow, yeah. If that one outlier young person death was covered, you'd be tweeting it and retweeting it, saying that, oh, look how dangerous COVID is." But the minute some freaking we had 16-year-old last week, now we got 105. This should be a feel good story. It shows how this simply ain't as dangerous as a lot of people pretend. And Lucia said, "I ain't leaving. Bischoff, I ain't leaving." He says, "I ain't leaving." I wasn't ready to go. Survived COVID, 105th birthday. Which should be a feel-good story, right? Should be a great story. Should be a story that you look at and you say, wow, maybe things ain't as bad after all. But doom and gloomers will never let you have that. They won't. They want you scared for the rest of your life. Or at least until they say, okay, stop being scared. And then, you take the diapers off your face and people are able to come within 6 feet of each other or whatever bull crap that they've been throwing out there, right? Should be a feel-good story, but because they want doom and gloom, stories like this often, I'm actually surprised the New York Times covered it. Maybe it's because last week that whole coverage got out with that 116-year-old woman out of France that got it and survived and didn't even know she had it. You see, I've been ahead of this. I'm not saying that to brag, not saying that to gloat or anything. It's that I knew that if you gave the government an inch, they were going to take the mile, you were never going to get those rights back. Or rather, they don't take rights. Let me backtrace. There's no such thing as taking rights. The rights exist whether they decide to use aggression upon you either way. So they don't take or give rights. What they do is stomp on them and infringe. So they will infringe on your rights in the event that you allow them any sort of leeway. And what they did with this was a virus with a 99% survival rate. And they said, nah, bro, y'all gonna have to shut it down. But we've never, ever done that ever. Oh, well, it's different this time. But is it? Yeah, it's just different. It's more contagious. Yeah, it's a coronavirus like other coronaviruses, but it's a little more it's a 99% survival rate, which makes it actually less dangerous than some of the others, but it's not as... I'm sitting here like, dude, one of my closest friends, like as in groomsmen at the wedding, close friend, got COVID. Dude's fine. Worst thing happened was he lost his sense of smell. You know what I'm saying? But that was it. It's not a death sentence, right? But because folks, for whatever reason, it goes with the dramatization that we see throughout life, really in the West right now. It's all dramatization. It's all like gaslighting. It's all trying to act as if they have survived an apocalyptic event. So this is why people try to have experiences that they never will have, because I guess you guys, I don't know, have been rewarding people. This is why these gloating nurses and stuff get on TikTok and pontificate about, oh, wow, it mentioned the survival rate is. What that one chick say? She said mention the survival rate is offensive. Like some crackhead ass nurse said that. I'm sitting there like, who are you? But doom and gloom is all they want. It's not a death sentence. It never was a death sentence. And that should be great news. That's fantastic news for someone that isn't spreading doom and gloom. But if you are a doom and gloomer, that's terrible news, because what it does is say, oh, crap, people are getting on our shit. Hey, 105-year-old after 116-year-old, and there's a lot of other old folks. It's not a death sentence. Under 70, as confirmed on the WHO's bulletin. You can go look at that. Don't take my word for anything. Brother John Ioannidis of Stanford University, covering what is it, 61 studies or something like that, showing the infected fatality rate for COVID and under 70, we're talking 0.0s. With an average, I think what was the average of 0.05 or something like that? It was some point something. It was basically, let's say this, for sure it was under 1%. Okay? Should be great news. Unless you're a doom and gloomer, then it's terrible news.